Why does a coworker smile to your face but then leave a snide comment on your work report? Or why does a friend consistently show up late to events, despite your repeated requests for punctuality? This, dear listeners, is the intriguing world of passive-aggressive behavior. Picture this: you're at a family dinner. Uncle Bob, as always, is criticizing the food. Instead of directly saying he doesn't like it, he remarks, "You must have put a lot of effort into this meal. It's interesting." This is a classic example of passive aggression. His words seem polite, but the underlying message is clear. He's not a fan of the meal. Now, consider another scenario. A friend consistently arrives late to meet you. You've addressed this issue before, but instead of apologizing or promising to change, they simply say, "Well, I guess I'm just always late." They're acknowledging the problem, but not taking any responsibility to change their behavior. This avoidance of accountability is another hallmark of passive aggression. In the workplace, passive-aggressive behavior might take the form of backhanded compliments, like, "Wow, you actually finished the project on time. I didn't think you had it in you." Or it could be subtle sabotage, like conveniently forgetting to include you in important email threads. So, what's the deal with passive aggression? It's a form of indirect communication where the individual expresses their negative feelings or hostility subtly rather than openly. It's often used by people who feel unable to express their emotions directly, perhaps because of societal expectations, fear of conflict, or personal insecurities. Passive-aggressive behavior can be incredibly frustrating to deal with because it's so indirect. The person acting this way may deny any negative intent, leaving you questioning your own interpretation. It's like trying to nail jelly to a wall, slippery and elusive. Remember Uncle Bob and his comments about the meal? Key to understanding passive aggression is recognizing the disconnect between what is being said and what is being conveyed. The words might sound polite, but the tone, body language, and context tell a different story. And your perpetually late friend, their refusal to take responsibility for their actions is another common trait of passive aggression. They acknowledge the issue but do nothing to change it, leaving you to deal with the consequences. In the workplace, passive aggression can be particularly damaging. It undermines teamwork and creates a toxic environment. The person on the receiving end might feel undervalued, excluded, or even sabotaged. So, how to deal with passive aggression? Firstly, recognize it for what it is: an indirect expression of negative feelings. Don't get drawn into the game. Stay calm, address the behavior directly, and encourage open communication. In conclusion, passive-aggressive behavior is an indirect way of expressing negative feelings or hostility. It's characterized by a disconnect between what is said and what is implied, a refusal to take responsibility, and subtle sabotage. Recognizing and addressing these behaviors can help to foster healthier, more open communication. Knowledge is power, and understanding passive aggression is the first step towards dealing with it effectively.